Hello, welcome back to Ben Sushi Live Coding. In this episode, I'm gonna try to debunk this U and V kind of confusion. Sometimes it's kind of like if you have like an image, and an image can have a U and then the V coordinates, and the U and V can actually sometimes you want to flip it, especially when it comes to mesh like this. So let's say you have like this is here I have a ring, procedural ring, and you can see the index here going from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and so on. This is like the order of the index of the polygon face. Sometimes you actually want the index to grow in circular, like 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then so on and so on. So the ring, the order of the index is what we want to look here. So here we actually have a cylinder that's being flattened, and if I increase the height, oops, so that's for the other guy. So that's also a cylinder, but I'm using a UV connection. Let's take a look at this guy first. So this is also a cylinder, but I just flatten it. I make the height 0, and what's happening here is that the index of the polygon face has been flipped between the U and the V. The one that's over here, if I zero this out, it's kind of open. It looks like I flipped the UV, but if I close the cyclic, the numbering is a bit wrong now. So it's 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. That's unfortunate. Unfortunately, we cannot actually use that. So otherwise, it's gonna be really simple to flip the UV. So cylinder goes inside UV connections, and it's gonna regenerate the polygon face, and we can kind of flip the UV that way, I thought, but we can't. We cannot use this one. So I'm using the one that's in the middle, and the setup is looking something like this. I'll show you how the UV get flipped to be really clear. So we have this index viewer, and before I'm flipping the polygon face, the index looking something like this: 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and then 10 11 12. So it goes in this direction. So that's the default of the cylinder, unlike the ring actually doing what I want it to be. It depends on what you're doing actually. Sometimes you actually want the number to go around, so it really depends. But by using this setup, we can kind of control the index number. See, 0 1 2 3 4. We can probably like invert it. Let me try. So list reverse, invert it. So that's also kind of interesting. What I'm doing here, there are many ways to do this. It's explained here on a Spreadshop. There's a couple of different ways. Probably a little bit more difficult, depends how you look at it. But this is by Derman. And the one I'm using is this list item. This is really cool because you can see here, this is the original procedural cylinder with 10 vertices and 4 subdivisions. So we have 10 polygon around, and then 1 2 3 4 5 this way. And the vertices is exactly the same, but what I'm arranging here, rearranging, is the polygon face. In fact, you can also randomize the polygon indices if you are using range integer perhaps, and randomize or shuffle, list shuffle. So instead of list split and list flip, you can use range integer, shuffle it, and plug this into this guy, and you can see here the index is being shuffled. Sometimes you want that maybe, and the resulting mesh should be looking like this. Let me try plug this into the polygon there, bake it, and if I'm using the modifier decimate, should be, oh actually not decimate, build. So this should be random even without us turning on the randomize, because the polygon order is kind of random now. But if I didn't randomize the polygon and bake it, this is gonna be in order. So sometimes you want that. So anyhow, we don't want the random one. We want the one that's kind of flip between the U and the V. And the secret is here. We split the data. So we have this range integer and we split it by 10. So we have 5 data. And then here I'm rejoining the data. So that way it's kind of flip, I think. So as a result, if I bake it, if I bake that and use the build modifier, you can see it's kind of doing that. You can see how it grows in order. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's kind of interesting if you think about it. This is, if you have like again, you have a grid. If you deform the grid, it becomes like a ring. You can also deform it differently, so it's become like a cylinder, but it still have the U and the V. Remember, the U and the V is kind of like when you are applying an image texture to a mesh. But this guy can also be a sphere. So cylinder, ring, and sphere, they all have some kind of UV that should be easily flippable. I guess this is probably the easiest way that I could think of. There must be another way, but it's here, this is the vertices number, right? Should match. So this is 10. So this should also be 10. And so by doing that, everything should work. Maybe I made a mistake here. I mean, I need to count the number of polygon. So there we go. I think I'm doing it properly. So this is kind of like a flip. I can flip the UV this way. Should work for grid, ring, cylinder, and sphere. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this live coding. Hopefully this is useful. Let me know what you think if you have any question. And thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.